So we're well over halfway through this tour
Yeah.
at the moment, and we were just talking, we've done hundreds of shows at this
Hundreds,
stage.
loads and loads of shows, yeah.
So we decided that this week we were just talking about the most memorable shows that we've had over the last 5 years, and each of us is going to share our most memorable one with you.
Yeah.
For me, one of the most special shows was when I came out the first time when I was filling in for Lisa, and my son, who was 5 at the time, came to see the show, and it was the first night that he'd seen the show, and in the show I sang The Blessing. And afterwards, I don't remember if it was that night or it was the day afterwards, he said to me, he said, "Mommy," he said, "you know that song that you sang?" He said, it made me want to cry. He said, "but it made me want to cry in a good way." And that to me was really touching, because I know that he felt the sentiment and of the song, and it's a beautiful song, and it was just special for me that he connected, to that.
Where we knew things changed was in Manchester on, I think it was our second year, and it was quite pivotal insofar as that it was an arena gig. We were doing theatres the whole time, and all of a sudden we were playing to something like 7,000 or 9,000 people, which was very, very different from our normal crowd. So it was like normally 1,500 to kind of about 2,500 or so, and this was a huge hike up.
My most memorable performance was the second show of Radio City, the Saturday night, because my mum and my nana were flying in from Ireland to see the show, and they got redirected to Cincinnati on the Friday, so they missed the show on the Friday night, and they literally got into Radio City seconds before my part in Amazing Grace, which is the big part for me. And yeah, I mean, it was like a Disney movie. They just got there just in time, and it all worked out perfect.
One that springs to mind is Carnegie Hall. A few years ago, my mother and my brothers Noel and Carl came over, and I was just really excited, so excited and nervous to have them in the audience. Just really, really excited. It was fantastic.
Paddy's Day in Fairfax. I don't know, it was just a really funny show. Everyone was all giddy and being silly. Everything was really hilariously funny, stupid things were really funny, and the crowd were amazing, and we told jokes, and at the very end Ray put on his shamrock face thing and waved to the crowd. We were waiting the whole show to see when he was going to put this on his head, and he eventually put it on at the very, very end of the show. So it was just a funny show.
I did have a show one night that my dress got caught in the set, and our stage manager Paul ran onto the stage while I was singing "Send Me a Song," and I went to walk down the ramp and I couldn't move, and I was stuck and I couldn't go anywhere, and I knew if I moved my skirt was going to rip. So Paul came out to my rescue, damsel in distress, and unhooked me, and then I could perform again. It was all good.
Celebrating my 18th birthday on stage in the Wang Theatre in Boston, and my mum and sister had come over for a surprise, and my friends had flown over, and the company here just made it the most amazing day of my life, and of course fans travelled to come to the show to share it with me, and that was amazing.
Well, I think my most special and most memorable performance with Celtic Woman was the first time we played Red Rocks Outdoor Amphitheatre in Colorado. And as I remember, that was our first tour without David Dennons playing piano. And we had gone a long time. We had a nice band, but we were missing him as a friend, and I guess as a band leader too. And due to circumstances, some unfortunate, we suddenly found out before the gig, like 15 minutes before, in this very special place, that not only was it going to be a beautiful evening and a great gig, but we had our friend and band leader back. It was 6 of us back together again. The girls were in great form, they sounded beautiful, everything was just perfect, and like the venue itself, when you look around, it's almost biblical, so I think for that reason I'll never really forget that night. Definitely the most special.